Today, we're diving into a really powerful framework for advisors, one that's supposed to completely change the game. But here's the thing. There's a huge misunderstanding about how it works, and once you see the twist, well, it changes absolutely everything. Stop selling solutions. Start owning problems. This sentence right here, this is our guiding light for today. It sounds so simple, right? But it actually demands a massive shift in how you think, getting you away from the what of your services and focusing you squarely on the how of your behavior. And this question, this gets right to the heart of it all. What if your behavior, the way you show up, the way you operate, was the actual product? That is the big kind of mind-bending idea behind the 5 Power POVs. It's a framework designed not to teach you something new, but to hold up a mirror and show you how you already operate.
So let's start with the core problem this whole framework was built to solve. We can call it the advisor's reactive trap. It's that constant nagging pressure to be just a solution provider instead of a true problem owner.
You know that feeling, right? When you're stuck in that reactive mode, you're constantly on the back foot, always having to justify your value, to explain what it is you do. It keeps you from ever establishing real authority. And even worse, it makes you totally interchangeable. Just one more option in a long list for a client to pick from.
Now, when we first hear about a framework with 5 different positions, our brains just automatically want to see it as a ladder, a path to climb from one level up to the next.
We see a list like this, and we think, okay, simple. I start at step 1, problem ownership, and my goal is to grind my way all the way to step 5, identity alignment. It just feels so intuitive, doesn't it? Like a logical progression from beginner to master.
And hey, even the language the framework uses seems to push us in that direction. You see phrases like entry points or own territory, and it really starts to sound like a video game, like you're supposed to be leveling up. But as we are about to find out, thinking about it that way is a huge trap. Okay, this brings us to the single most important correction for understanding this framework. This right here is the pivot that unlocks its real power. A ladder is not a mirror.
So here is the fundamental problem with looking at it like a ladder. It turns a powerful diagnostic tool, something that's meant to tell you about who you are right now, into just another to-do list about who you could be someday.
And this is the key. You've got to get this. The framework is not a map to get you somewhere else. It is a mirror. It's purely designed to show you where you already stand, to reveal your default behavioral stance in this exact moment. This table just lays out the shift perfectly. We have to move our thinking from progression to position, from aspiration to diagnosis. It's not about some future promise, it's about your present behavior. It is not a journey to take, it is the stance you operate from today. So, with this new mirror mindset firmly in place, let's go back and look at those 5 POVs again. But this time, let's see them not as steps to climb, but as distinct behavioral positions that we can diagnose in ourselves.
First up, problem ownership. An advisor who operates from this position doesn't say, here are the services I sell to fix that. No, they say, I take responsibility for this problem. It's a subtle change in language, but it's an incredibly powerful shift in behavior. Your authority suddenly isn't coming from your sales pitch, it's being established by your immediate willingness to own the problem.
Next is process authority. In this position, your behavior screams, the way we work is the value. It's a defined, non-negotiable path. You're not just selling an outcome anymore, you are providing the stability and clarity of a proven process that basically compels the client to follow your lead. Position 3 is decision leadership. And this is so much more than just giving good advice. This is about operating with clear rules and constraints. Your behavior actually structures the environment so that you and the client can make better, faster decisions together. You're not just an advisor, you're a leader, guiding them to a clear choice.
Then we get to consequence ownership. And wow. This one is a massive shift in gravity. Instead of just reassuring the client that everything will be okay, your behavior forces them to confront reality. You operate by stating, if we don't do this, this is what's going to happen. You make the cost of doing nothing painfully clear, and you take full accountability for that outcome.
And finally, we land at identity alignment. When you consistently operate from one of these clear behavioral positions, something almost magical starts to happen. You stop having to sell. Your behavior becomes your brand. The right clients see how you operate, and they choose you, not because of what you do, but because your way of being aligns with who they want to be.
Now listen, this is absolutely crucial, and it completely shatters that whole ladder idea. These positions are not permanent achievements you unlock. You could be operating from a strong position of leadership with one client, and then, under stress, find yourself falling right back to a more reactive stance with the next. Ownership is conditional. It's something that has to be consciously chosen and maintained moment to moment.
So what's the ultimate takeaway from reframing the power POVs like this? Well, it really just boils down to one simple test.
This is the gut check. When you look at this framework, does it make you think about who you could become, or does it make you think about who you are? If your mind immediately jumps to the future, to aspiration, you're still stuck thinking it's a ladder. The real power comes from diagnosing and owning who you are, right here, right now.
And that, right there, is the big idea. These POVs aren't scripts you can memorize or lines you can recite. They are behavioral positions. At the end of the day, your clients don't buy your services, and they don't buy your marketing. They align with your demonstrated behavior, the position you consistently own, day in and day out.
And so, it all comes down to this choice. It isn't about climbing some imaginary ladder to a future you, it's about choosing which position to operate from. So the real question isn't, where do you want to go? It's where will you choose to operate from today? The power isn't in the climb, it's in the position you decide to own.